All right, we're going to continue on. We got more stories to get into, so let's jump into our next topic.
Elon part 3.
Elon part 3. So Elon's involved. Elon's this last week with Elon Musk. He's been in almost every story revolving around gaming, and I think this is maybe why he's engaging with the topic so vigorously. Elon Musk announces plans to create an AI game studio to make gaming great again. This is going to be interesting, I think. So the official
merch for that, I'd buy that hat.
So I mean, yeah, make gaming great again. Oh,
Is it red?
Bitch, it might be. I have no idea.
Before you get too far, I called this a couple podcasts ago.
You did. Yep, you shouted this out. You thought yeah, absolutely. We thought that Elon was going to get involved in the gaming industry. Refresh my memory. Did you think it was going to be his AI initiatives that he was going to use to do it, or did you think he was going to just like generally speaking do it?
I thought he was just going to start a game studio and then like have, trustworthy people underneath him that can make a game.
Right. Because we were talking about it with the Halo story, or with the Halo, the composer of the original Halo song theme music. He was saying he would come out of retirement to get behind Elon Musk on projects, and I hope that happens. That'd be so
Matt
cool.
called it like 3 weeks ago. So
right. Well, here's the official announcement from Elon on November 27th. So it's actually a response to it's a verified user. It's another one I'm not going to be able to pronounce. I apologize. I don't understand how
try it.
God, Shibitoshi.
Say the last name.
Shibitoshi Nakamoto. Okay, that was. I need 2 more runs at it to get it right, but
Japanese names aren't that hard.
They're not. But yeah, I don't want to fail when I could.
They're easier than Polish names.
It's better to do it right than. But anyway, what they were saying, I don't understand how game developers and game journalists got ideologically captured. Gamers have always been trolls, anti-greedy corporations, anti-BS. Gamers have always rejected dumb, manipulated bullshit and can tell when someone is an outsider poser. Why lean into the bullshit? So I think we have to engage with that a little bit. So I think, why did game journalists become so ideologically captured? That goes back to like pre-Gamergate that goes back to pre-Gamergate. That goes back to Kotaku.
Journalism in general.
Yeah, journalism in general got ideologically captured. And I mean, a lot of institutions did. So it's not just gaming. You had basically any industry of influence got hard pushed, seemingly all at the same time or around the same time. But why did games journalists get captured? I think people weren't paying attention. I think the reason all of these institutions got captured is they weren't paying attention. And I think people didn't even wake up to it until it started to actually affect them individually. I think when people called out an issue or an incident that happened, people were just, oh, well, that's interesting to hear. It probably won't affect me. I mean, I haven't noticed that in my gaming experience. I haven't noticed that with the articles I read. And it turns out that
Do you think journalism's, this is just a thought that popped in my head. Do you think journalism's like slow decline has been because of like the internet and like clickbait practices and whatnot? And rage generates more clicks than
I think it might.
So they just kind of went down that hill and started believing it and blah blah blah.
Here's my theory about it. My theory is that it stems from the colleges with the journalism classes. I think that's probably where the source of what happened was. But I think what it boils down to is laziness in the journalism industry, where it's, they're just looking at something and taking the most efficient way to get clicks. It's basically what you're saying. I don't know that it was ever intentional. I think that a person would create a story, see that the people who were paying attention were the people who were on their side and their faction, and then got kind of into a circular, and then triggered themselves into a circular motion where they
instead of like reporting facts and whatnot, they went down more of a editorial route, where it's just like whoever's writing it, everything's opinion based now.
Yes. Yep.
Instead of just
yeah, the amount of actual news that gets generated is very, very slim, and It's not the world I think any of us want, but I think I think it's gravitating towards that. I think there are people who are so hungry for actual journalism, though, that the few who rise above and actually break out as trustworthy sources, I think will still survive, but everything else will fall. Everything else
Like
will fall.
Alex Jones.
They're turning the frogs gay. That was
I turn the freaking frogs gay. I will eat your ass.
So Elon's actual announcement comes as a response to what we just read. So too many game studios that are owned by massive corporations. xAI is going to start an AI game studio to make games great again. And I'm here for it. I think here's my, man. Let me just clarify my position on AI in gaming. I've always entertained the idea that, so ChatGPT came out when the channel was started. And so we were definitely talking about AI and ChatGPT and all that stuff when it was kind of breaking out only a couple of years ago. And so when that happened, my position was that I thought AI would be amazing for creatives. I thought it would be so good because it would be the tool it would be the tide that raises all ships. It makes it so that an independent creator has an idea and they want to articulate that story and make it successful and popular. And they have tools that will make that so efficient that as a one-man person, they can actually pull it off versus a studio who has to spend several $100 million post-marketing in order to create a video game that competes for the top seat. So I think an AI game studio, if they can figure out how to use the AI properly to develop games, because every other engine I've experimented with and played with absolutely sucks at understanding what you're trying to tell it to do. So, I mean, pretty much any artistic tool that isn't incredibly cumbersome almost never understands what you're trying to build. And so with AI, it's still young enough that it's not better. And so I think it'll take another second or two before AI understands
Still
what
just
the
a
developer
tool.
wants it to do. What's that?
It's still just a tool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was using ChatGPT originally, I kind of likened it to like a powerful search engine because it was actually like more of I was using it more of like an Ask Jeeves. I was like trying to understand what the limitations of the tool were. And in the early stages, it was very, very limited. It was very limited. It would fail all the time. And so I was like, this is just a powerful search engine that gets it right sometimes, but often doesn't understand what you're trying to tell it to do. Fast forward a year, and now we have six or seven famous AI search tools, and it's AI art generators and all these different AI song generators are fun to use. So we're definitely broadening what AI can definitely do. And I'm just curious. At first I had I was leaning more towards the idea that AI will help independent creators. And now I'm still thinking that that's the case, but now it's seeming more like you will have to become a professional at manipulating AI in order for AI to do what you want it to do. And so, but the limitations on AI are going away quickly. The limitations are fading fast. So I'm curious to know what your guys' take on AI in gaming would be. Like, what do you think he would do with it? What do you think it could do? I mean, do you think it's good or bad? Like,
I think it's good. And you're still definitely going to need, like, if you view AI as the machine until it learns how to like be independent, you're still going to have a person that's qualified on working on the machine.
Yeah.
Because it's going to make mistakes. And then I've read numerous articles where, hey, can you make me a line of code to do this? It'll jack it up. It'll get really close, but you need someone to go in there and be like, okay, this is where it jacked up.
Yep.
Still a humongous time saver, but again, it's going to make mistakes.
Yeah. I think with Elon and xAI specifically, because Elon wants to be at the forefront of AI, but what is he, a year and a half behind with Grok? You had ChatGPT, Copilot, now you have Copilot Plus. Microsoft is already integrating their AI tools into laptops and computers now. So I mean, X is still Grok and X are still behind the ball. But if he makes the first AI, if he's using the first AI in gaming and he's starting to teach AI how to create gaming and use it more efficiently for that tool, that would be kind of the leverage I think that would put him ahead. Because I mean, I'm not aware of any other industries that are using it to help them with AI.
I mean, what could you really use the AI for? Maybe like generating dialogue.
So
I kind of get like this, like you get like procedural generated worlds or whatever where
Bunch of
nothing's
bland
really
stuff.
the same. Yeah, but otherwise, there's still a lot of human component to it.
well,
Yes,
yeah,
there
and
needs to be for it to feel. If he makes 2 games and they're both under the same engine, how are they going to feel different?
mm-hmm.
Especially if everything is AI voice generated, that would be lame because we'll
Yeah,
pick up
Yeah,
on
that's
that.
what that would
If
be.
the
voice.
But
dialogue, like
it could go
script
like to
writing,
like like text based games like in the fucking 90s and whatnot. Uh, you could you could almost like create a game to where it's like you're having almost like a full blown conversation with an NPC to where you could just type something in and then they respond with an AI generated response.
Yep.
So like dialogue could be more whimsical and just
dynamic.
do whatever dynamic
Well,
that way.
and if you have characters, let's say a fantasy universe, every NPC that you can communicate with or vocalize, like articulate to, is now able to communicate with your voice chat. Like your voice chat has a text to speak function that puts in the text as code into the game such that the AI can engage with it, and you give parameters to each characters. Like your character can respond however the AI sees appropriate in a way that aligns with his characters. Like your character values are that you love your town, right? You have a pet chicken that's your favorite. You know this much. What could your character say if those were the parameters assigned to your NPC? And then player walks up to NPC and says, "Oh, I have this really bizarre question. Have you heard anything about the Brotherhood of Skulls or whatever in this video game?" And the character's like, "Oh yeah, the Brotherhood of Skulls. I know about that." And the code's thinking it's not a part of my parameters. I can tell the player everything, and just data dumps all of the knowledge of this seemingly insignificant faction in a video game, but just data dumps
I just
everything on the
wanted to
player.
talk about the chicken, to be honest.
Well, the chicken's the main character. The
Have you
chicken.
met Frederick?
The chicken is the antagonist. It's like the dragon. The chicken becomes the dragon. It was a polymorph dragon the whole time.
Remember,
But
you
jokes
remember
aside.
accidentally killing a chicken in Skyrim first time?
Yeah, that was a fun
There was no
experience.
accident.
That was by accident for me too.
Accident.
Matt, you were
Yeah,
saying?
jokes aside, the like just kind of playing off the chicken guy, it would be cool if when you went to him, the first time he's like, nope, never heard of this Brotherhood of Skulls. But the next time you approach him and like, hey, have you heard anything else about them? If they were to respond not any more than what you said last time,
Yeah.
like that would just be immersive instead of, nope, never heard of them.
Yeah,
Every single time that you go
Instead
to
of
talk.
going through the same dialogue options.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it could generate new dialogue options to make the game feel like you're actually communicating with someone who
Why do you fucking keep on asking me, dude?
because of
Leave me
hope.
alone.
I want to break you. I want to break
Do you
you.
want to buy something or what?
And the time you ask, he sends the chickens at you. That'd be cool.
I want to blow up and respond. So in response to Elon's message, we have Grums who replied, "It's time AA games are outperformed. It's time. AA games are outperforming AAA bloat this year by an order of magnitude. AAA budgets of these massive corporate games are unsustainable. 8 to 12 studios spread out over the world to make one game is hugely inefficient. Mythical Man Month on steroids. $300 million to $1 billion budgets competing for 5 to 10 slots a year between success and failure. High risk means no new ideas and same recycled slop. They are already collapsing. Meanwhile, AA studios with 40 to 70 million budgets are delivering 5 to 10 times returns and taking all the top slots this year." Well said. You point to the Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero. You point to Wukong. You point to Space Marines 2. You got no shortage of AA games and like kind of from the background games that came ahead to just blow up the industry this year, which was really cool to see.
Well, and apparently it takes AAA games like 7 years to make a fucking game. So,
Well, that's another thing. It's like, how have we been developing video games for 40, 50 years and yet 60 years and we still have no efficiency in the process? How have we not been able to make the process more efficient? Is it because the goalpost? I mean that legitimately. I want to actually get your guys' take on this. Is the reason, in your opinion, that we can't be more efficient in video games because the goalpost keeps moving further and further out as far as audience expectations. Like, is that a reason?
No.
I don't
Because people are taking a week off every month.
I'm bleeding from my asshole. I had too much Chipotle.
So yeah, because the menstrual leave that CD Projekt Red put out.
Well, it's also like a cultural thing. Like movies do it quicker because there's like a 3-year turnaround rate.
Yeah.
Big games is usually like 5 or so, and so they're always like 5 years behind the time. Like going back to fucking, I'm so sick of talking about this game, but Veilguard, like fucking 7 to 10 years of development. They've switched off and on about what they want to do with the game so much, where it's like, all right, now we get the final product. It's like, that took you fucking 10 years to make. It's like, now more like 5, because we kept on changing our goddamn minds every 2 seconds.
I can agree with that. Reason being is I feel like a lot of people think development is programming, animation, all of that. Whereas logically, the vast majority of all of that is going to be building the story and making it coherent, first off.
Right.
And that's going to be, I mean, look at what we're doing with the comic. Like, we haven't done any art.
Nope.
We haven't done anything aside from straight story. Granted, we're not working on that every single day.
Right.
Like these companies would be, but that would be mentally exhausting to do that every single day.
And then you have to have your story sitting well with level design and whatnot.
Going back, seeing what happened to this character. Oh, we forgot about them. We need to write them in.
Well, and
now all of this has changed.
Well, and let's say visually, like let's say there's an issue visually, right? Like this scene doesn't play out in the game within the game's parameters in a way that we wanted, right? Like let's say it's something like that. So you have to go back, revisit, and do revisions and such too. So, or force the issue to something else. You're right. There's so many changes inside of the game development that actually could be pointed to as well. I was just curious because every game, like game studios are like, audience wants so much and we can't meet their expectations anymore. And now we definitely can't do it within our budgets. I'm sitting here thinking, I was like, dude, Fall Guys was the like #1 game for like 6 months. It like cost nothing to make. It took no time at all. Like Among Us had the attention of every child on the planet for a year straight and still is very popular. Like
Fun.
Flappy Bird is now an arcade game in any places that they still have arcades. And that game can be programmed in less than an hour. It's like you're not making a good case when the most successful games of a year can be developed in a week with good polishing, like with effort. So I was just curious what your guys' take on that was, if there was any legitimacy to the idea that audience expectations were the cause of these inflated costs and these moving goalposts. But
according to Larian Studios developer in an interview with IGN, the total development budget for Baldur's Gate 3 was $50 million.
Are you shitting me?
And we got games coming out that cost $200 to $300 million. They're shit.
Are you sure it's not 50?
Blew them out of the water.
Yeah, that's insane. I'd be curious. I think I'd be curious to see Wukong and Space Marines as well. I'd like to see their budgets. I'd be very curious to check that.
Development was $30 million for Baldur's Gate 3. And then you got marketing, distribution,
right, okay,
overheads, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, to develop the game cost $30 million.
That's better. I mean, obviously the marketing can't be ignored. The marketing budgets can't be ignored. So realistically, we're talking 80 million, but
no, it's 50 in total. Development was 30.
I thought okay.
Marketing, distribution was 10. Overheads and miscellaneous shit was another 10.
Okay, gotcha. I thought they were added together. Okay, that makes sense.
It's a team of 150 to 200 people. $30 million to create one of the best RPGs to come out fucking decades.
Ever? I think ever. I mean, I think this RPG is just, well, I mean, if you developed this game 20 years ago, I think it would still be amazing, but I think we've also seen what that looks like too. Like,
let's see how much the Veilguard cost.
Please look that up. We'll stay on this topic until we get that number, because I really want to know for sure what that is. But the game studio thing, I was just kind of always in awe with the fact that there was never an efficient way to develop. Like, there's never a way that's just fast and simple. Enter in Epic and the Unreal Engine, and then I was thinking, oh, we finally made it. Where like anybody can become a game developer. The engine's going to be so efficient and help everybody save money on their development costs. And then it's just ended up being Unreal Engine ended up being the thing that killed almost every video game on launch, because they were trying to create so much visual effects that it was just bricking their games, just crashing everything. I was like, God damn it. I thought we were
Unreal
there.
Engine?
Well, the Unreal Engine is one, so it's is it Unity? Yeah, so Unity and Unreal. Unity and Unreal are two of the most prominent, two of the strongest development engines outside of like Blizzard. Probably uses their own internal engine that they probably keep behind closed doors for their stuff. I would assume the biggest studios all have their own engines that they've developed over decades.
Kind of.
Correct. Like
Unreal is used by a lot of people.
Yes.
Frost Engine. Oh, the Frost Engine. It pisses me off because EA mandated that all their games use the Frost Engine after the success of Battlefield. So they're taking like a first-person Frost Engine and trying to use it for all their RPG shit, like BioWare and all that shit.
Yeah.
It just turned into But reportedly, Veilguard cost over $250 million.
Oh my God. Development or everything?
This just kind of reportedly, there's no set. It's just
There's no parameter.
out,
Okay,
so.
got it. No parameters around that number. Got it. So $250 million. Holy shit.
Compared to a $30 million Baldur's Gate 3.
That's insane. But that's what I'm talking about.
Oh my God.
All that time off, man. It's all the
engineering costs that much? What the fuck are they doing? Are they sniffing coke all the time off their desks just to stay longer and work harder?
It's
fuck.
It's the menstruation leaves. It's the menstruation leaves.
God, those do add up.
Those add up, man. But you should be more efficient when that happens.